Hello, my dears. I just got back this second. Today, I treated myself. I went on a shopping spree. Oh, it was delightful. I caught a bus into town. Oh, it's so much nicer to ride now that the big bad wolf isn't driving the bus anymore. He used to take those curves like a roller coaster. Once the golden goose laid an egg right there in the aisle. Oh, I tell you, the tension was terrific. So, anyway, they decided to hold a race, and the winner would become the new bus driver. They put up posters and everything. But finally, only 2 contestants entered the race, the tortoise and the hare. Well, naturally, everybody assumed that the hare would win the race, running away, if you'll pardon the expression. And we were all prepared for another hot-rodding bus driver, just like the big bad wolf. But somehow, I'll never understand it myself, that tortoise won the race. And now we have a nice, safe, cautious bus ride into town. I always take the bus now. Unless I'm in a hurry, and then I walk. But where was I? Oh, yes, into town. I went into Raggedy Andy's fashion boutique. Oh, what a marvelous new line he's brought out. My dears, I went absolutely crazy. I bought a whole new outfit, had my hair done. What do you think? Nice? Thumbelina has a little beauty shop in the back. She does wonderful hairstyling, but she gets tiny footprints all over your shoulders. But the outfit I got is just divine. Oh, let me try it on for you. I told Raggedy that I wanted something frivolous. You know, they've opened a new disco in Fairy Tale Land. Lots of celebrities. Oh, my dears, can you imagine doing the hustle bumper to bumper with old King Cole, the Queen of Hearts, and Prince Charming? Let me tell you, it's a giddy prospect. So, I bought a new outfit, and along with it, a whole new disco image. And voila! What do you think?
Help! Help! Your fairy godmother's being attacked by a bowl of fruit salad! Help! Help!
Roscoe, really?
The attack of the nectarines! Help!
Maybe we should have brought a banner.
Oh, Heartless.
You're right. Maybe something tasteful in neon.
Look, Heartless, I feel bad enough about us coming over here in the first place.
What are you talking about? This is the last day of the campaigning, Election Day. Everybody in Fairy Tale Land will be flocking to the polls in a little while to vote for mayor.
Yeah, I know.
And I intend to win that election, my cheesy little cohort, by going around to every cottage and castle in Fairyland and making a personal appeal.
Yeah, but this is my own house.
What difference does that make?
Well, I live here. These people are my friends.
Rodent, you happen to be my campaign manager.
Oh, I know. Don't keep reminding me.
I don't understand your attitude. You haven't got any enthusiasm for this election. Why did you answer my ad to be my campaign manager?
Because I didn't figure anybody else would answer the ad. I mean, let's face it. You are a creep, Heartless.
Oh.
You haven't got a friend in Fairy Tale Land. So I figured as long as nobody else was going to do it, it might as well be me. You needed me. Besides, you offered to pay me money.
I thought that might help.
But coming here to my own house, to campaign under my own roof is stretching good taste even for me. Besides, you know Benita is the opposition candidate, and she lives here too.
Hello, Roscoe.
Hiya.
Well, if it isn't the campaign manager for the opposition, Bellamy the lion.
Well, if it isn't the opposition, Godfrey Heartless.
Now, you two boys just shake hands and come out fighting.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
hello,
Fairy Godmother.
Greetings, constituent. I am your candidate, honest Godfrey Heartless.
Honest? Oh, Godfrey, I've known you longer than that. What are you doing here on Election Day? You know that Benita is a candidate for mayor, too.
Yes, I know. But it never hurts to try and convert a few voters, to dissuade them from their views through my powers of rhetoric and oratory.
He means that he's going to make a speech.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
Yeah, I think it only fitting that we should allow Mr. Heartless the opportunity to air his views.
You're right, Bellamy.
I am, after all, Benita's campaign manager, and I know that she would offer up the hand of friendship, the pipe of peace, and the hearty embrace of humanitarianism.
I don't know what you mean, but I agree.
Mr. Heartless, I should have known you were around here somewhere.
Oh, Miss Benita, what a charming surprise encounter.
Surprise encounter? Say, who you trying to kid?
What are you doing here, Mr. Heartless? And on election day, too.
That's precisely it. Exactly my purpose. This being the final day for campaigning, I'm visiting every house, shack, and cottage in the kingdom. And so, without any further ado, I would like to launch right into my campaign speech.
You gotta stand behind a podium.
Oh, yes.
Maybe if you stoop down, nobody can see you.
Now, gather around, everybody. No. Something's not right. Oh, I know. I need a baby to kiss.
Ugh.
Well, it is the custom.
I think it's a beautiful custom.
Yeah, but we ain't got no babies in this house.
Well, improvise.
Man, improvise.
You certainly have conducted an elaborate campaign, Mr. Heartless.
Well, thank you, my dear.
I didn't have any of these frills, posters and buttons.
It's just good strategy. Give the people what they want. A circus.
But Godfrey, these elections aren't supposed to be circuses or personality contests. They're supposed to help us choose good and capable leaders for fairy tale land.
All I care about is winning the election.
This is humiliating.
Oh, no, Roscoe.
All right, come on, let's get this over with.
Why, hello, you little tyke. A coochie. Someday you'll be a grown-up thing. And you'll remember the day that you met Mayor Godfrey Heartless.
Pooey.
Now, back to my speech. My friends, and I do believe I may call you my friends.
Well, this is getting nowhere fast.
Elect me mayor of Fairy Tale Land. I promise that everyone will ride on a brand new bicycle.
Yay.
And I promise that everyone will have 2 pairs of shoes. One for walking and one for running.
What about dancing?
3 new pairs of shoes. One for walking, one for running, and one for dancing.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Heartless. You can't keep all those promises you're making.
Who cares? It makes a heck of a campaign speech.
Well, I don't mean to butt in, but I am the opposition candidate, and I think you're way out of line.
I think my candidate should be entitled to equal time.
Here.
I think so, too. What do you want to say, Benita?
Well, it's not much. I don't have a fancy vocabulary like Mr. Heartless, and I can't make a lot of extravagant promises that I'm not even sure he can keep. But I can tell you that if you vote for me as your new mayor, you'll have put somebody just like yourselves into office, because that's who I am. I'm you. We have the same feelings and needs, and we're all looking for something better to do with our lives. Something beautiful and noble. And that's what I want to find, too. Well, that's all, I guess.
Benita, that was just beautiful.
A wonderful speech, old girl.
Please, everybody, let me continue with my speech. Attention, everyone. My friends. Oh?
Well, Benita, how's the campaign going?
Oh, I don't know, Fairy Godmother. Godfrey Heartless had a much splashier campaign than I did.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about it, my dear. You've got something that Godfrey Heartless hasn't got, and people will recognize that.
What's that?
Principles.
Principles?
You know, something to believe in, something that makes your whole life worthwhile and positive.
But is that enough?
Enough? Benita, let me tell you a story about somebody else who found out that all they had to offer, all they had to give, was what they believed in. The name of the story is The Wild Swans. Once upon a time,
long, long ago, there lived a king in his castle. The king was very lonely for many long years because he had lost his queen. So finally, one day, the king decided to remarry. It was a joyous day, not only for the king, but also for his 11 sons and daughters. But one day, soon thereafter, their joy did turn to sorrow. The new queen soon locked the princess in her room and then cast a spell on her 11 brothers. From that moment forward, not a day went by that the young princess did not think of her ill-fated brothers. Now it was the wicked witch who truly held the reins of power over the castle. The princess felt such great sorrow for her father, cut off from his children and left helpless by the black-hearted witch. The princess could not bear to think of her father like this. She had no choice but to leave the castle and search for her brothers, no matter how far or how long it might take. That night, carrying only her brother's boots, the princess stole secretly out of the castle. The princess traveled near and far, through forest and over mountains, but her search was to no avail. It looked as though her brothers were lost to her forever. But then, one day, as night was about to fall, she found a cottage beside a mountain lake. Inside, the princess discovered many beds lined up in a row, and when she counted them, they equaled 11. I wonder, could it be? The princess's heart began to beat loudly, and then she heard them, their feathers white as snow against the evening sky. 11 magnificent swans came flying across the lake toward the cottage. The princess dropped the boots she had been carrying those many days and sought to hide behind a pile of straw.
What's this? Why, these look like the boots I left behind in our castle. How could they have gotten here?
My brother! At last I found you. It was a most joyous reunion for them all. They talked throughout the night, and she told them of the queen's wicked ways and how their father yearned only for the day when he might see all of his children again. But early the next morning, her brothers were once again transformed into swans, and they flew off to she knew not where. Oh, if only there were some way to break that evil witch's spell over my brothers. It was then that a very old lady appeared from out of the forest.
Shall I show you the way to break the witch's spell?
Oh, yes, you must, please.
All I ask is that you follow my instructions to the letter. Do you think you can do that?
Oh, yes, of course. I will do anything to break the spell on my brothers.
All right, then I shall tell you. But heed my words well. You must gather reeds and brambles and crush them into fine straw so that you may knit 11 jackets. When these jackets are placed upon the wild swans' backs, the spell will be broken. But from the instant you begin to weave until the last swan has donned his jacket, you must speak not one word, no matter what might happen. For if you shall, your brothers will be struck dead on the spot.
The princess did not lose a minute in beginning her task. The reeds chafed her hands, and the brambles cut into her feet, but still the princess worked on. But then, one day as she was working, a prince from a neighboring castle happened by and was immediately captivated by her beauty.
You are the loveliest thing I have ever seen. Won't you do me the honor of returning with me to my castle and becoming my bride?
The princess remembered her vow and could not tell him that she must remain there until she had finished knitting her 11 jackets. The handsome prince gathered her up, and together they rode off toward his castle. And soon as they arrived, he took her to meet his mother, the queen, so that he might ask her permission to marry. The queen could not give them permission to marry because she feared that this strange, silent girl had been bewitched and might bring a curse to their entire castle. The handsome prince could do nothing but wait and hope that the queen might change her mind. And while he waited, the young princess continued her knitting. knowing that their only hope was for her to complete her task. And when the handsome prince saw how important her knitting was to her, he left her to her task, and never once did he insist on knowing the reason why. Every evening when dark had fallen, the princess crept out of the castle and into the fields to gather reeds and brambles for her knitting. One night, the queen saw her go into the cemetery to gather brambles. Here was proof positive that the princess was indeed a witch in disguise. As soon as she returned to the castle, she told her son of what she had seen and forbade him to see the princess again.
It's a lie. I don't care if you are my mother. It can't be.
I have spoken. There will be no marriage. According to the laws of our land, a witch must be burned at the stake. There are no exceptions. It is the law. It must be obeyed. Do you understand?
No, you can't. Oh.
The queen's word was final. No matter how he pleaded, she would not change her command. Guards were waiting for the princess when she returned from the fields. But even though she was cast into a deep, dark dungeon, she continued her knitting. The hour of her execution was near, and the guards came to lead her away. But even now, she continued her knitting. Just a few more stitches and she would be finished. Oh, my brothers, you must find me. You must receive your jackets, she cried out in her heart.
Oh!
It was the wild swans. I knew you would find me. She began to throw the jackets into the air one by one. And when she had done, there appeared her 11 princely brothers. Oh, my brother! Once the curse was broken, the princess was free to tell all that had happened. The queen was proud to know that her son had chosen such a brave and loyal girl, and quickly gave permission for them to marry. It was a glorious wedding, and they lived happily ever after. Meanwhile, her brothers returned to their castle, banished the wicked queen from the land, and freed their father. Peace and prosperity was theirs forever.
That was a wonderful story, Fairy Godmother.
Well, it isn't for everybody, but you're very special, Benita.
Oh. You know what, Fairy Godmother?
What?
I don't think that people are as silly as Mr. Heartless thinks they are. I think they can tell the difference between empty promises and somebody with,
Principles.
That's right. Principles.
Hurry, hurry! Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Me too.
There, that's 748 votes for Benita.
And
And no votes for Godfrey Heartless.
Oh, I say, old man, I'm frightfully sorry. Congratulations, Benita.
Yeah! Bad luck, Heartless. Congratulations, Benita!
Congratulations, my dear.
wait a minute. If I didn't get any votes, that means that you, my own campaign manager, didn't even vote for me.
Hey, just because I work for you, that don't mean that I gotta vote for you. I ain't crazy, you know.
And Godfrey, there's one more thing.
Well, what's that?
If you didn't get any votes, that means that you didn't even vote for yourself.
Hey, that's right. Why not?
Well, after Benita's speech today, I began thinking about what kind of a leader fairy tale land really needed, and I decided that any kingdom that would have me as a mayor, well, I, for one, wouldn't want to live there.
Oh, Godfrey.
Congratulations, Benita.
And I think what we've all found out today is important.
Let me say it. This election has shown us all that everybody needs principles, something to believe in.
That's right, Benita.
Everybody needs a purpose. something everyone can see, just as long as you can see it. That's all you need to believe it. Everybody needs a purpose, something to be loyal